Well, good morning. Breakfast is the broker every Tuesday morning. Welcome. And we have another exciting group. We have a great guest. And you ready? Boys and girls around the world, this is the moment you all have been waiting for. Let's get ready to broker by way of Boca Raton, Florida. She is the Economic Development Manager for the city of Boca Raton. She received her MBA at Lynn University. Go Fighting Knights! She was recently named to Lynn University's College of Business Advisory Board. Her hometown is Brooklyn, New York. Stand up and make some noise for the girl who helps partner with businesses around the world and brings them to our amazing city of Boca Raton. The one and only Jessica Vecchio.
I'm waiting for the applause. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that intro.
Of course. So, listen, I really appreciate your two-time Breakfast with the Broker interviewee, and there's so many things going on in Boca Raton, isn't there?
There's so much going on, really.
So tell us a little bit about what's coming up and maybe some of the businesses that we've been partnering recently.
Sure. So what's coming up, maybe we should look back also, like with COVID. So COVID, we thought, we were going home for 2 weeks and I was very nervous about COVID because it was affecting the commercial real estate market right out of the gate. And there were people that were locked down. A lot of states and cities were locked down. And we were very nervous about it. It happened to be a silver lining for not just Florida, but South Florida and Boca Raton from a business perspective. People who have second homes here were setting up a 5,000, 10,000 square foot office. And they're still here 3 years later. So we're seeing a lot going on. From coming out of the ground, we have Restaurant Row that just opened 2 out of the 4 restaurants. That's probably the newest
El Camino
thing.
Opened up, yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that the hottest hot spot, right?
I know a couple of the owners, and they're amazing. And they do a
Brandon's
really good job.
been around for decades, like you and I, right? We've been Boca since 91, and I've known him for years too, just by being out in the community. And then Fiolina is a Michelin-starred chef that opened his restaurant in Restaurant Row. Phenomenal food.
Is it?
Oh my gosh.
Italian or?
Italian. Yeah, like real
nice.
Italian. Like as a New Yorker, it's not New York Italian. Right. It's like Italy Italian. It blows your socks off for sure.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I have not been there yet, but definitely we'll check it out.
Great.
Interesting because you mentioned the pandemic, and the pandemic certainly has had a huge effect on Boca Raton and stuff. But, one of the things that really kind of put a spotlight even more on the city is Brightline, right? Yeah. So, when you're talking about like our number one, you want to call it target or whatever, but our number one demographics, right, tends to be the Northeast. Mm-hmm. And people live in the Northeast because they like city living. They like, mass transit. They like, being able to, the walkability, the livability, all that kind of stuff with the lifestyle. And wow, downtown Boca's really kind of done that, huh?
Yeah,
we're right here now anyway.
Yeah, so we're in downtown Boca, so we can see people walking by as we speak. Yeah. So Brightline has been a game changer. Probably the most historic thing we'll see. I started in 2015, and it's the biggest thing I've seen come through Boca. It's a game changer, not just for downtown, but Boca as a whole. Connects us not just to West Palm, Aventura, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, but now Orlando. So it's a great, safe, efficient way to travel. And now we have a project coming out of the ground, Aledo Square, which is a commercial property, which is going right across the street from the Brightline over by where Tucci's is. Mm-hmm. It'll have a restaurant, and it's all corporate. So a lot of companies, we're showing a lot more space downtown. So we usually show space in the Northwest Corridor over by Brick, which is the Boca Raton Innovation Campus, which is the original IBM campus. It's 1.7 million square feet of space. So it's massive. It's the size of Town Center Mall, if you think about it. Yep. And then over there is a 700-acre parcel of where you see Office Depot and ADT. It's called the Park at Broken Sound, and lots of companies in there. So that's usually where we're showing space. Oh, we know of an office here or there, and we work with all the brokers. And now the people are calling and saying, well, we want to see some space in downtown Boca Raton, which is a game changer.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, it's funny that you mentioned, and we'll get to Brick in a little bit, but, I mean, what people don't realize is like this master plan was 20, 30 years in the making. And, and people are like, and I remember, like we don't like change, right? Like most people don't like change, and, they want us to keep the historic, Addison Miser, double story, triple story, not the high rise kind of stuff. But once we realize that how amazing that we've made this downtown Boca is crazy. I mean, the walkability and the parks and the festivals and, now the amphitheater, getting reworked with the art and history and stuff. So, I mean, all that stuff is really just kind of just made it so much better and a better place to live.
Yeah, I think it's smart growth. I think Boca, and I can't take any credit for this, right? But Boca has done a great job with smart growth. We have great people in-house who look at the development side of things and keep that history alive, but also move forward, right? You want to have a touch of the past, but also improve it with amenities and technology. And I think we've had a great balance with that. And we're a pretty great city because we have a lot of tax dollars coming into the city from the corporate side. So we have funding. We don't have to accept every project as is. We can say, let's go back to the drawing board on this. We want more setbacks. We want more trees. We want more this and that to keep the city beautiful, right?
Sure.
That's the key, is not to ruin it as we grow.
No, and a lot of the policies that have been implemented, even the storage of vehicles, right? Like just the crazy thing,
yeah.
like, we don't have car dealerships. Yeah, we have luxury car showrooms,
showrooms,
or
exactly.
offices, whatever you want to call them. But, we don't have that, right? So, and we have industrial rows and stuff like that, but we have, we have water treatment plant that's, second to none, there's a lot of things that go on in Boca that people don't realize. And it's kind of a multi-tiered system, right? So, we bring in obviously a lot of the businesses, but as you're growing, you're taking, you go from like having, the greatest water, right? And then you're getting, showcased in a Seinfeld episode, right? Boca de la Vista or whatever.
No more.
No, it is not. No, it's definitely not your...
It's not your mama's...
No, it's not your father's Oldsmobile.
I miss the Oldsmobile.
Me too. I kind of like it. But, now you have it downtown. That's true. So downtown Boca, and then now all of a sudden you're bringing in businesses, you're bringing in lots of restaurants, you're bringing lots of notoriety, a lot of celebrities obviously are showcasing, and the parks and the beaches have always stayed the same because the parks and the beaches have always been like the infrastructure of why people come into Boca.
Right.
So now you've kind of taken the families, you've taken the, now the single life in Boca Raton and made it a little bit of nightlife, as well as, the walkability and livability.
Yeah, we're changing as a city, and that's a lot of things in play. Like you said, we have the beaches, we have the parks, but a lot of cities have beaches and parks. We're able to balance. I always say Boca Raton has it all. And I do sound like I have pom-poms for the city. And I do. Like other cities look at, they want you to come to their city, or we're prospected to talk to other economic developers, and they don't have a private airport that brings these, when you say celebrities and business executives and corporations that fly private, they come into there. That's 80,000 flights a year, at least, coming through that airport. That's an economic engine for Boca that people, they just see it. They don't realize that that's bringing money into the city. They have a customs facility. We have a world-class hospital, which a lot of people don't have in their own city. I don't know. We really have the universities also. When you talk about the aging younger, we're attracting families into Boca Raton, but we also have this group of students, 28,000 students out of FAU, and then Lynn University also has students, obviously, and then Palm Beach State. And they're not as eager to go elsewhere any longer because of the beach and the lifestyle that they're able to get here. So I think all those assets coupled into beautiful tax environment that looks like the beautiful weather we have here, I think it sells itself, really, the city.
Absolutely. With the bright futures, with students getting scholarships based on academic achievements, people are looking at, FSU and University of Florida and UCF and USF and all these, but now FAU is on the map, right? I mean, not only do you have the stadium, right?
Unbelievable.
But FAU used to be a commuter school.
Yeah.
It's not a commuter school anymore.
Right.
It's a real university, and people are really loving it, and they're choosing it over schools that never would have happened before because of all the environment that has lent itself to this amazing, atmosphere.
It really is. I mean, it's on fire. I think the academics, pooled with the sports gets, just the hype. It gets us on the map. They're in Times Square. They're going to games at Madison Square Garden. It's just really unbelievable. And I think it started well before what's happening now. Like I told you, in 91, I moved here. You're right. FAU was a commuter school, and it changed a little bit over time here and there. And then when Lane Kiffin came in, I was shocked at I'm not the biggest sports nut. I don't know a lot of who I should, but when he came in and, my husband would be watching ESPN and they're like, Boca Raton on ESPN. I was like, what? So it does change the perception. It helps change that we are not Del Boca Vista.
Right.
All these things, they really help to change the perception of doing business in Boca Raton. And that's really what we're looking to do. But it's happening so organically right now because of the exodus out of the Northeast through COVID. We're seeing a lot of those people open up shop here. So it's great.
No, great. Listen, you see Mayor Singer dancing at the Boca Raton Ball, or actually the Miami Dolphin game, I think it was too, as well.
He might have been dancing at the Boca Raton Ball too. He might have been at the Boca Raton Ball, but I think I saw a video dancing at the Dolphin game too. Yes.
What can businesses do, that are thinking about maybe, a headquartering or, moving their operations down here?
Yeah, they should reach out to our office. We're very hands-on. We do phone calls either on Zoom before they come to the area so we can scout out exactly what they're looking for. You had mentioned the industrial side of town. We have a lot of companies that want warehouse space. They like that cool vibe with the high ceilings, and met a company yesterday that needs a docking like a space for docking for trucks. They have to distribute a lot of product. So we can get a call together. Look, I'm in everyone's budget because my services are free. So call me. I can help you. But we can help lay out some properties to see while you come to town. So we're not just meeting when you come in and then kind of figuring it out. We're going to have a game plan before you come in. We'll take, your morning or your afternoon, whatever you want to do. We'll show you some of the properties that are available that meet your needs, whether it be corporate HQs or, like we said, industrial, a lot of times now downtown Boca. And it's really just walking through buildings and it's like selling a home, right?
Yeah.
You got to get a vibe for what they're looking for and what their needs are. You'll have your list of what's important to them and you'll show that. And then that's how we build a relationship. You build by trekking through buildings like that together and hearing their feedback. Oh, I love this. I don't love that, or the view, or they don't want the view. It doesn't matter to them. Close proximity to 95 used to be the biggest. Now we're hearing close proximity to Brightline. Yep. So again, that's how we do it. You reach out to us, we take it from there, and we work collaboratively with you. And it's ongoing. So then once they move in, we help them with their expedited permitting. Again, all free services from the city. We expedite the permitting because we know time is money. We get them up and running, ribbon cuttings, hiring needs. We have access to resources that are free to the company, free or no to low cost resources like Career Source, which helps with hiring. When you're new to the area, you're not sure. We put them in touch with the universities. They all have career centers that are very robust. And then they hire and they ramp up. And then they, before you know it, they're celebrating a year or 2 or 3. So really just reach out to us. We're super approachable. That's
awesome. So, how do realtors get involved with the city, right? Mm-hmm. Like, realtors, they give back, they build relationships, they connect with people, and they continue to, force, the value add of what a realtor is for a resource and advocating for the community and building relationships, especially with partnering in businesses, are great for the community, that they live in. And so how do realtors get involved with maybe the city of Boca or,
Sure. Yeah. So realtors, I am more involved with the realtors of our community now than ever. They're reaching out to me. They're saying, hey, they're looking at this property and they have a business that they want to move here. And that's a little out of my scope. So I go in. So what we're seeing is there's at least, I won't give names or numbers, but people that are reaching out repeatedly about helping people move their families here. So when we do corporate relocations, the hard part is how they time it. So they're going to move their families. They bring in, 15 executives. They all have to move their families. Are they in school? It's a lot to think about. People think you just open up shop and you move in and it's, hey, we're here. It's not that simple. It's very complicated. Think about moving your family sometime this year. how would you do it? It's like, holy smokes, it's a lot to think about and a lot to plan. And there's a lot of strategy to it. So this is a reverse. They're moving their families here, right? So we're getting rid of that barrier. They're already made the decision to come to Boca Raton. Now they want to start their, bring their business, whether it's part of their business or their entire business. We've done both. And then the realtors reach out to us and we meet as a group and we talk about same like you would. What are your needs? What do you do? And then while they're doing that, they're doing build outs in their home. They're doing build outs on commercial. So we can kind of help them with that permitting side of things. Again, we're just trying to get them up and running as fast as possible.
That's awesome. So what are the big companies that have headquartered maybe in the last 5 years in Boca Raton?
Yeah, I have a slide on this. It's about 19 companies. There's some big companies that we've had here. We've also had expansions. Right now we're working on a year-end report, which will have all of that in there. But what we're talking to are some of the existing companies that have expanded through COVID. One of them was Privera. So that's a private aviation company headquartered at the Boca Airport. And we asked them why did they could have gone anywhere. Why did they choose Boca Raton? So we just put that together. It's going out. I think it's posted today. And there's companies like Prest. We did Prest, which was out of California. Their first location was out of the state of California, was in Boca Raton. They had some, delays with their build out because they had run into some sort of structural issue in the walls. So we helped them with that, and they're here now. There's a lot of companies that have come through. We can't forget Amazon moving their distribution here. That was a big one. That's, 400 jobs. And those are, as you saw, I think UPS workers just came out that they're making like $145,000 a year. And the latest, the most recent incentive program we did was for the city was with Canon. So Canon was relocating out of their building. They were having some concerns and they were looking to move back to their New York office. And there were about 120 people that were having executives here in Boca. And we didn't want to lose those jobs because those are the people that are able to buy the homes and go out to dinner and, they infiltrate money into our economy locally. Sure. So we fought to keep them and they moved into a new office and we paid incentives. So that's another thing I should mention is that the city does have incentives available for corporate relocations for companies that are coming out of state. Right now, we're currently working a business that is a publicly traded company that was spun off. A portion of their business was spun off and it was purchased by a hedge fund or private equity, I should say, private equity firm out of Chicago, and the CEO is in California. So it's like everyone wants to be in their own city. Like everyone's like, no, we want to be in Chicago. We invested in this company. We want to be here. And the CEO is like, well, I want to be in California. And I'm like, the tax benefits of both of those states is crazy. Right. Let's look at Boca Raton. And right now they've signed their lease to stay here in the city. They've spun out into a new location and they have about 100 people, which are all executive jobs that we want to keep here. And the people that are here want to stay here. No one wants to be uprooting and going to another state with high taxes. You make less money that way, less money in your pocket, really. Agreed.
So City of Boca, obviously is doing some great things with business partnerships and, as you said, incentives. Anything new coming up that we can release?
Like?
I don't know. Businesses?
Well, a lot of times I'm unable to say anything about the business until it's a done deal, unfortunately.
But like, listen, I mean, if we talk about our traffic study, right? Like, with Glades Road, that was a big thing, and people fought, tooth and nail and like, how do I go? Do I make a left or right way? I don't understand how
it's a
total diamond and whatever. And so you're looking at it and you go, I don't understand this. Right?
Yeah. I was the same way, to be honest with you.
And they put up 78 signs or whatever the number is. And pretty much, if you read, you'll actually be able to work it now. And most people actually know the traffic pattern now.
And it does work.
It does. So it's amazing.
These are engineers that are a heck of a lot smarter than I am. But when I saw that, I was like, how is this going to work? Right. But I drive it every day because I live off Glades. Right. It works. It's efficient. You do get through the lights. It's a lot safer. So whatever that diamond was, it works.
I'll tell you, it's it's amazing going from Federal to west of 95 is a lot easier than it was before. And I just visited the mall briefly because we had a meeting, but that place is crazy.
Crazy.
In the holidays is nuts. Any
but
works?
That's good. It's not just people shopping online, right? So it's getting people to go to a destination to shop, which helps the shops. And because, I find it myself, I get on the Amazon and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this and that. And then you're like, wait a minute, let me just go to the mall, touch it, feel it, buy it. Right?
You wonder what the next generation is going to do, right? Because, we grew up in
totally,
touching, feeling and such. And so touching, feeling, all that, right?
Right.
And
try
so,
it on.
yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, you wonder what the next generation is going to do, whatever.
But there's something about it, the crowds and the hustle and bustle of the holiday. There's something crazy that I love about it.
I agree with you.
Nostalgia.
All right. Well, I always end the podcast on 2 questions.
Oh boy. I should have watched.
What is your favorite all-time streaming series or movie? And what are you currently watching?
My favorite all-time streaming? Well, I'm a kid of the, I won't say what years. I always loved Pretty Woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it wasn't streaming back then.
No. But that's a great movie.
But yeah, it's a great movie. I think there's a lot of takeaways in that. And what I'm watching.
A lot of life lessons too.
A lot of life lessons. Exactly. It's still relevant, really, if you put it on.
It is.
Your DVD player.
It's Blu-ray now.
I'm teasing.
No, it's not even Blu-ray anymore.
I think you just have to stream it.
Yeah.
And what I'm watching now, let me think about that because I have a lot of things going. My husband loves to cook, so we're watching Julia Child. And what else are we watching? I love Bookie with who's the comedian Sebastian Maniscalco.
Okay,
he's crazy. I watch everything. There's not much I don't watch, to be honest with you. So
awesome.
I know that's probably not as clear an answer you want, but I watch anything.
Perfect. That's it. Yeah. Listen, I appreciate you coming on, and how can we get in contact with you? And if
sure, you can reach out either via. Let's do email. I'll give you the general mailbox.
Sure.
It's economicdevelopment@myboca.us. Again, economic development at myboca.us, and it comes right to the general mailbox. So if I don't see it, someone on my team, Kelly Kennedy, can take a look at it. But we'll reach back out. We really want to be involved in the community. Doing things like this are so good for us to get what we're doing out in the world to hear that we're here to help. We really are.
And what's the, how do we access the annual report that you,
it's coming out. Yep. We'll be having that. We're probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks into January because we have to wait on some numbers. I should have gone into those numbers with you. Our leasing numbers are through the roof from a commercial perspective. Really impressive. Once we have that, we send it out. We post it on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we'll send it out to our subscribers as well. But I can give you a copy for sure.
That's awesome.
Good.
Well, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you always coming in and giving us an amazing spotlight on our beautiful city of Boca Raton. And thank you for all you do and all the work you've been putting up. And if you are a business looking to headquarter or relocate, Jessica is your girl. So appreciate it.
Thank you
so much.
Breakfast
with the Broker every Tuesday morning.